Good morning, Mavis. Here we are on Bear Valley Parkway. Atlas and I are taking a quick trip to the Romona Country Bakery, which we can talk about shortly. Bear Valley Parkway has an interesting history if you look it up. Apparently, out in these parts, there was a pioneer family, did some farming, and the man of the house had gone down to San Diego to sell the produce. And while he was gone, a grizzly bear came and attacked the woman and her family. And she had to defend herself with the rifle that was hanging over the fireplace. She was unable to kill the bear with that rifle, probably because it was just not big enough of a rifle. But they sent some trackers out after the bear, after she fought him off, and finally found and killed that bear. And inside, they found another pioneer that had been missing. So kind of like the Jaws story, except with a bear. We are now on Highway 78, which at this point is called the Temescal Valley Road. And a couple of interesting things along here. Lovely little produce stand. Up on top of that hill, probably won't be able to see it. It's a house that was owned by the great-grandson of Ulysses S. Grant. Came here and planted 500 avocado trees. Lived for a generation. There it is, it's up there. Anyway, Ulysses S. Grant IV left that house to his son, who then had Sotheby's come in and they auctioned off all the Grant memorabilia. And way back in the day, they collected about $2 million for, I'm sure, pistols and cutlasses and things like that. This is the Temescal Valley. This is very popular with sports car drivers, as we can see. It's 350Z up in front of us. Also, it's become quite the destination for wine lovers, as there are cows and wineries all over. Gorgeous. That road over there, which we're not going to ride on, but it's called the Milky Way. Oh yeah, it's called the Milky Way, and it's all the dairies are over there, and you can smell them making money for here. You see that sign for the safari park back in the 1980s. San Diego Zoo purchased 2,000 acres out here and created a whole new kind of zoo for the day, where it was basically built for the animals, so the animals have habitats where more appropriate to the animals' urge to roam around. And I would say probably about half of the space is one big African grassland where giraffes, rhinos, all sorts of split-hoofed animals all live together. They keep the predators off to the side, smaller enclosures. A lovely place to visit. And right next door is the historic San Pasqual battlefield, which I find particularly interesting because this is one of the very few places where the U.S. Army was ever defeated. Apparently Kit Carson and General Kearney came out here with a contingent of troopers. They hiked out from Santa Fe, New Mexico, and with barely any rest, or so they say, they took on a force of Mexican vaqueros who were armed with little more than lassos and lances. The whitewashed version of the story probably happened right here where we're riding. Whitewashed version of the story says it was fought to a draw, but as we generally give ourselves the benefit of the doubt, you could safely say that Kearney had his butt handed to him. Anyway, some oranges. This is a big ranch here called the Guajito Ranch. Probably an original land grant because it goes on for miles and miles, all up the side of that hill, the avocados. The value of that land is just too high to calculate these days. Woo! Pay attention. It's certainly beautiful out here. There's some wine, some grapes are growing. On weekends they have wine tasting here. Gorgeous valley, and believe it or not, this was the easiest way to get from San Diego to Santa Fe. Additionally, back in the day before roads, they used to carry the mail through here on mules, and they called it the Jackass Mail. Yeet. Ramona, like lots of places, was founded in the 1880s. Ooh, thank you very much. It was a stage stop for stagecoaches going from San Diego to the gold mining town of Julian. Back in those days, it was called Nuevo. Then in 1884, a book named Ramona came out about the trials of a half-native, half-Spanish woman by the name of Ramona and the discrimination she faced after the Civil War. Ramona was quite the hero, so they named the town after her. Today there's about 20,000 people living here. It means they don't have a Home Depot, don't have a Lowe's, but they do have some interesting little businesses that we're going to visit today. One of which, priority one, is the Romona Country Bakery. Where we don't know what they're going to be making this morning. We're pretty certain it's going to be good. It started. Hi, Patrick.
Hello.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. So we are all natural, all by hand. One of my secrets that my owner says is it's easy to make something delicious if you do it by hand and everything by natural. So we don't use any preservatives. The only downside is our bread goes bad super fast, but it freezes well. And so we are proud of that. I get here at 5 in the morning. I'm the baker, so I'm in charge of all the bread that you see baked, and then I just kind of help out making coffees and stuff. So I'm fairly rarely up here, but I enjoy it. I enjoy it a lot. The front that you're seeing right now is actually just kind of like a fun little side gig for us. We make most of our money selling to restaurants and grocery stores, so like Jimbo's and Target and Grocery Outlet and stuff.
And
like
Seaside Market.
Yeah, Seaside Market.
We can get your stuff at Grocery Outlet? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, also down there, the Hummingbird Cafe is another one over here, the little coffee shop right here. So we're all over Ramona too. And so that's kind of where our bread is, or bread and butter is, you could say. Our sourdough is really popular. Our starter is about 7 years old now, and so we like to say it's in its prime. They tend to get more sour as they get older, and then they get to be too sour. And so ours is really kind of right where it's supposed to be. And that's about it. We're family owned. There's about 4 or 5 employees that actually are employees. The rest are just kids and the parents. And so it's kind of beautiful. I like working here. So.
What's your favorite thing to eat?
My wife makes me make at our house almost every week our Italian bread, but add honey and we add Italian seasoning. And so here the Italian seasoning, we wouldn't really use that. We would use the actual herbs because we're all natural here, but at my house we cheat. And so I do like the Italian seasoning. And then I add honey because it helps the yeast. So it also is a cheat. If you add sugar to your dough, it rises faster. And so I've noticed at my house, it's not as warm. That's why you notice the warmness in here is because we're letting the dough rise. And so at my house, it's not as warm. And so I use a little honey to kind of cheat.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but like our bread is only 3 ingredients, flour, water, salt. That's it. And so it's just all about how we stretch it and how we cook it. And
all right. Well, fantastic. I wish you the best of luck.
Of course. Thank you, guys.
It
was
Patrick.
Nice to meet you.
Bye. Say, how'd you like the Romona Country Bakery?
It was good.
What was your favorite thing?
The chai.
The chai. Oat milk chai with vanilla. So, Romona Country Bakery is south at the intersection of 7th Street and Main.
I love that car. I want one of those. Or one of those
Atlas wants a Toyota Land Cruiser and a 4Runner. We're outside my friend Pete's shop, Junk and Disorderly.
I was like, hey, look at the Tesla.
Pete sells mantiques. Come here, kid. So here we've been riding on the Pamo Road. Now we're going to descend into the Pamo Valley, which, except for 3-4 ranches, is uninhabited, unspoiled. Some coastal oak, protected trees. Now, how's that for a view? Outstanding. We're about 10 miles from the house right now. 15 miles by that windy road. But if you're a bird, it's 10. Up there is Black Mountain. Won't be able to get up there today. It's a favorite destination. Check some of the gates, because last time I was up here they were all closed. You had to stay on the main road and that was it. That was back in the rainy season. Which I think is done. Like Black Mountain, you can see maybe that it's mostly scrub up to the very top, where just a couple of pines. Kind of a footnote to some of the higher mountains, like Mount Palomar that we went up the other day. Okay, on the left we got a great trail system called the Orozco Ridge. It's open. Well, if that is open, then I'm going to guess most of them are open. Since it's still springtime, might be lucky enough to get a couple of water crossings in. First chance for a water crossing. as a bone. Yeah. Okay, so the Sasquatch Trail is presently blocked and locked. So, the good news is that we get to go across the water again. And do it a little more carefully this time. Oh, apparently the passenger in the back gets wetter than the driver up front. I didn't know that until I was so informed. Protest from Atlas here when we peel off the road. They think they're almost home. See how far they let us go. guaranteed water crossing right up here. Challenge with this is it gets insanely slippery with the moss that grows on it. It should be in second. I don't think they've ever been here, so this is excitement. Keep seeing cute animals that they're hollering about. Oh yeah, here we go.
Oh my.
So the trick to this is don't stop, don't put a foot down. Oh yeah. Woo!
Oh my God, it went
I hope we caught that on camera. They're still hollering back there. Damn, that was deep. That was Itchy Boots deep. Look out, Jack. Picking your line is particularly important when you got two people on board. You can't just...
I'd like to put in a notice that my butt is wet.
Somebody's rear end got soggied back there. Woo! Okay, here we are on the Orozco Ridge up above Pamo Valley. A lot of water on the bike. I'm not sure whether or not we successfully caught that water crossing, but it's pretty technical up here for two people, so we'll be going slow, using a lot of brakes, front brakes, back brakes, engine brake, keep us on the bike. Whoa. Atlas is being a good sport. Again, today, a real trooper. Lots of ruts and sand. It's not too bad if you take a perfect line, but that's easier said than done. It's also easier to see the ruts on the way up. Let's go the long way. Hard to say which is more comfortable for my passenger. Ooh, whoa. All right, almost there. We need to go through that water again. Again, we need to know not to... Oh, quail? just lovely in here. We'll just let these horses go on by.
Beautiful horses.
You like this?
She says, "Oh, no, okay."
Let's go this way. Well, it's interesting. It's a little paved bit of road with a lot of sand on top of it. A babbling brook on the side. We'll have some stories to tell Mother when we get home. Doesn't lack for scenery down here. It's one of those grim little roads like they have around Uncle Ken's house. Careful now, Willie. That next turn's very grim. Just were.